It's hard to resist the thing that I missed for so long. Can't remember what it's like, just remember I need it. Even if I'm on the train I thought I'm on wasn't the right one. Gotta trust the God, yeah, no matter what happens. And I feel like I'm falling deeper. Got me falling for you, got me falling for you. Falling deeper. You got me falling for you, got me falling for you.
I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see. It looks something like this.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you live. Hopefully you're all doing really good. We are live, welcome to the stream, and yes, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep, so I apparently was ready to get up and start the day, so I guess that's what we're gonna do. So I was like, why not stream? You know, I always like doing random streams at like 2 o'clock in the morning. It's always fun. Hopefully everyone's doing good. We're gonna jump back into our Vue learning. Hopefully it goes really good. Give me just a second. Oh, it's not the right font. Oops, sorry. Keep forgetting my, give me a second. There we go, that's better. Sorry, for some reason my volume controls the volume of my, audio thing. My bad. Alright. Let me tweet that I'm live. Just done processing it. I feel like it is. Alright, cool. That's done. Give me... I didn't... Alright, that's okay. Not much I can do about that. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, give me a second, guys. There we go. Chat. Ah, here we go. Sorry for the double audio there. Where's it? Okay, cool. Let me turn this down just a little bit. Okay, cool. Alright, so I need to just make sure everything's updated. Thank goodness for coffee. It's too early for this. Alright, brew upgrade. Oh, cool. Nothing needed to be upgraded. Alright, let's go cd your projects. ls, cd view. Let's see, view to do app 1, YouTube tutorial, dojo blog. I don't think we need that. Okay. Go to YouTube. Let's see. See. $27 videos? Oh, that's a lot.
One program that...
Hold on, guys, sorry. Gotta get to this ad. Let's see, building data attributes.
UI frameworks have drastic...
Let's see, getting started, loops. Are we doing the composition computer properties. So I'm just looking through this stuff. I don't want to do router. Wait, we're not using the composition API yet in this one? Ugh. Oh, I don't... How old is this tutorial? 4 months ago? Yeah, I suppose. Probably watch it. That just seems like a really long time, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Alright, can you all tell me... Can you hear this?
Change the way that we write web
Can you
applications.
hear that?
And I get it. There are many frameworks to choose from, and picking one, much less getting started with it, can be daunting. Well, let me make it a little easier for you. While React has the benefit of name recognition, there are other frameworks that, in my humble opinion, do a much better job. For example, Vue.js is extremely approachable if you already know a little HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Its feature set is
just a
easier to
little.
understand and use. It's very, very fast, and its growing community is ready to jump in and help if you have any questions.
That is very
Hi,
true.
I am Jeremy McPeak, and I'd like to teach you everything that you need to get started with Vue.js. We'll start at the very beginning, and I'll teach you the fundamentals using just the Vue library. No build tools or tool chains required.
Oh, man,
You'll learn how
Ooh.
to create applications, define
Damn
and use
coffee.
options, and organize your applications into smaller, more maintainable pieces called components. But then we will jump into the tool chain because it makes working on larger projects easier. You'll learn how to load and work with reactive data, how to handle user input, and create custom events that you can use in your applications. I'll also teach you how to manipulate style, create computed properties, and define objects that watch your data for changes so that you can react to those changes. You'll learn how to create single-page applications
I saw what he
using
did
Vue
there.
Router,
That was
and
React.
how to use the composition API to improve maintainability. We have a lot of ground.
Why not just start off with the composition API? You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing with these tutorials. Maybe there's a reason they don't do that, but wouldn't it make sense if, because that's what's going... I guess if you need to learn the pure basics of Vue, then you do need to start off on actually how to do a Vue project without the composition API. But it's just like you're learning something you're not going to use anymore. You know what I mean? Because everyone's now using composition API. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
To cover. So when you're ready, cue up
I
the
just-
first
I don't
video and we will get started.
But first, if you are looking to create a professional website or you want to add features to make your website stand out, then head over to Code Canyon, the marketplace for high-quality JavaScript and PHP components, HTML5 and mobile templates, and so much more. The items at Code Canyon can help you easily add the functionality and eye-popping visuals that you need to meet
I
your
would get
business's
a-
goals. You'll find a massive library that contains thousands
Envato,
of
plus,
JavaScript and
or
PHP
Elements.
components and almost 20
'Cause you get a lot of these included
HTML
with it.
and mobile templates. Needless to say, you'll find what you're looking for to take your site to the next level.
Good.
There are two things that I want to touch upon. First is your code editor. Now, technically, we are working with text, and we can use any text editor to do the work that we need to do. However, the text that we are working with is code, and code editors have features that make it easier to work with code. So I recommend using a code editor. There are many free and many that are not free. So feel free to use whichever one that you are comfortable with. I personally use Visual Studio Code because it's free, it's also cross-platform, and
true.
it is also the best code editor for JavaScript. But again, feel free to use whichever code editor that you are comfortable with. The second thing is the Vue Dev Tools. Now,
Gotta have that.
these are
I feel like we
tools
can
that
skip
you
through
install
most of this.
within
I already
the
have a
browser.
lot of
They
this.
are used for debugging. And Vue let's go now in, which is what we are going to do. So let's hop on over to our code editor. Let's create a new file, which I'm going to call index.html.
Okay, hold on. Let me... Before we go doing anything, mkdir, what is this called? Tuts plus, Envato. Envato Tuts. View. I don't think I need to put that in. It's already in the view file. Okay, cd Envato Tuts. Oops. Oh yeah, I forgot that too. Like a part of Envato Elements for like that $15 a month or whatever, or 16.50 a month. You get Tuts Plus included, and Tuts Plus is like a ton of great tutorials, digital books that you can actually read included with that subscription. So, huh. Anyways, code. Alright, perfect. Get rid of that. They'll make our index.html file. Alright.
Well, and as far as the title is concerned, let's just call this Vue Basics. And then let's paste in that script element. Let's also go ahead and...
Oops, I forgot to grab that. I gotta do that. Let's see. Vue CDN. Quick start. Where are you? There's the using script. Let's see. Copy. I think this is the one I'm going to use, or the one that I should use. Let's see. Dist view global. Quick. Yeah, it's probably the one I want. I think his is a little bit different.
paste in the CDN for Bootstrap, just so that we have things that don't use.
Oh, shoot, we gotta do Bootstrap too? I didn't know that part. Let's see. Download Vue scripts and plugins from Code Canyon. Okay, don't need that. Download. Great. Alright, hold on. Do you tell us how to get that? I don't think they did. Alright, what is he using? Bootstrap 5.2. Okay, no worries. Bootstrap CDN. Let's see. View all releases. How do you find the CDN for this? Download. CDN. Ah, here we go. Link. Is he using link or script? Link. Alright. Let's see. Well, we could probably just copy. If you're using CDN, hold on. If you're using our CDN, compile JavaScript and prefer to include the popper separately before the JS. Does it matter? Or who knows? Alright, let's see. Script. Bootstrap min. We should be fine. I don't think we need the popper. Let's see. Bootstrap popper.js. If we're using... If you prefer using our compiled JavaScript and prefer to include popper separately, add before our JS via the CDN, preferably. Let's see. Bootstrap 3.1. The popper. Skip the download. Does that include the popper, I wonder? 5.3. It might. Min CSS. Hold on, let me. I don't know if you need the popper, but I'll just put it in there. I don't know if that makes a difference, but anyways.
The default style sheet. And let's start with just some content that we're going to hard code into this page. And eventually we are going to use Vue to generate this content for us. So we'll start with an H1. This is the title of our page. So let's just say hello Vue. And then we will have some content such as welcome to the wonderful world of Vue. And then let's open this up in the browser. We can just double click on the icon. We aren't making any HTTP requests or anything like that, so this is going to be fine. And there we go. That's great. However, I want to add some styling here. So
Oh, he's
let's
so
actually
fast.
wrap this.
Oh, man. Do you enjoy Vue more than React so far? I still don't have an opinion, unfortunately. I just don't. It's different, but I haven't worked enough with it yet, so I don't have an opinion. Hopefully soon, though. But as for right now, I don't, unfortunately, have an opinion for
In
it.
a div with a container class.
A div with a container class. All right, so I got to do that. I think if I go div.container. Oh, look at that. That was beautiful. Look at that. Learn how to code.
So that we can use Bootstrap there. And as we refresh, okay, that got moved over.
Have you,
That's okay. So we want to use
have you coded with
Vue
Vue yet?
in order to essentially provide this same content. And we can do that by adding a script element to the bottom of our body because we want this to execute after everything else has been loaded. And we are going to create a Vue application by using the Vue object. This is given to us by the Vue library. And we have a method called create app. Now, I said that this is creating an application, which, hello, it's called create app. But this also creates what we typically call a Vue instance. And one of the really cool things about Vue is that we can have multiple Vue instances within a single web page, which is something that we will look at in the next lesson. But for right now, we're just going to work with one little application, and we want to mount this somewhere within our web page. And we do so with the mount method. And then we specify the HTML element where we want to mount this. And, well, we want to mount this inside of our div element.
Oh,
now, this
div.
is a CSS selector. And right now we only have one div element. So this is going to be fine. However, I think that we would be better served if we have some kind of unique identifier here. So
agree.
let's just call this content. And so we will change our CSS selector to the ID of content. Now, if we view this in the browser, it's going to look exactly the same. There's nothing that's going to be different. And that's primarily because, yes, we created a Vue instance, but it's not really doing anything. However, there's one very important thing that has happened behind the scenes. And that is since we have mounted our application with this element with an ID of content, what we have inside of here is actually a template. And Vue is going to use this template in order to generate.
But
what
it
we
is
see
different, I'll give you
inside
that.
of the browser. Now, of course, right now, our template is hard-coded HTML, but we want to soft code this. We want to provide the data to our applications so that we can view them through our template. So we do this by passing what we call options to this create app method.
Ooh,
the options
we're
is
going old
nothing more
school.
than an object, and the properties are, well, they're different options. The first one that we are going to look at is the data option. This provides data to our application. It is a function that returns an object. Now, if you're familiar with React or other frameworks, this would be referred to as state. This is the state of our application. So we essentially have two things that we want our application to work with. The first is the title of the page, that string of hello Vue. So we are going to call this page title. And let's just go ahead and take that text. We'll cut it out of our template and we will paste it as the string for our page title. So let's hop on over to the browser. Let's refresh. And of course, we see that change. But of course, we want to display that page title. So we need to tell Vue where to display our page title within our template. We do that with a pair of curly braces. And then inside is our data property, page title. So if we go back to the browser and refresh, we see hello Vue.
No, we don't. We see page title. That's weird. Did I not do something right? Page title. Hello Vue. That's weird. Let's see. Why would that not be working? That's odd, right? Spat. That's weird. That is odd. Is it the CDN? It might be. Let's see. Nope, there's Vue right there. Interesting. I'm doing something wrong. Oh, I already see it. There we go. There we go. Fixed it.
Let's do the same thing for our content. And let's just call this content. So we are going to use the templating syntax to output content. Now, if we don't specify a content data property and we refresh the page, well, of course, we don't see anything because we did not supply anything for the content for our application. If we pull up the browser's developer tools, we will see a warning that the property content was accessed during render, but it is not defined on the instance. So essentially what that means is we've used content inside of our template, but we didn't define it within our application. So that's easy enough to do. We just need to add a content property to our data. And now, whenever we go back to the browser, let's refresh. We of course see the content that we would expect to see, and the console does not have that warning.
That is true.
So we have now created our first Vue application. We did so by using the Vue object and calling create app. This created a Vue instance. We supplied an options object that defines the data that our application is going to use. We have two pieces of data. We have the page title and the content. We are mounting this application to an element that has an ID of content. And in our template, we are defining where we want to display our application's data. Well, in the next lesson, we are going to add another Vue application. This will be one that will control the navigation for our web page. In the previous lesson, we created a very simple application to display some content within the web page. This application has two pieces of information, or two pieces of data, the page title and the content, and we mounted this application in an element that has an ID of content, which is this div element. Inside of this div element, we have our template where we specify where we want to display the page title and the content. So in this lesson, I want to expand upon this. I want to create a new Vue application. Now, this doesn't mean that we have to create another web page. We can have as many Vue applications inside of the same page that we want. And sometimes we want multiple applications, sometimes we don't. In this lesson, we are going to create an application that is going to control the nav of our web page. So I'm going to paste in the markup for our nav bar. This is just...
Oh boy. All right, hold on. I don't like when people do this in tutorials. That's okay. Is that inside the container? No, it's not. Yeah, but hold on. Let's see. Nav class nav bar light. li nav item. Okay, I think that looks right. So we have navbar. Oh, I gotta add one more. Navbar dash expand dash lg. Then it's navbar light, bg light, container fluid, navbar dash brand, navbar, me auto. Okay. Looks pretty good. I think I did that right. Container fluid, brand. Okay. Actually, I'll be right back. Give me a minute.
Keep the funk in their music.
Oh, hey, Lindy, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. How's it going? It's going good. How's your morning going? Or evening, whatever time it is for you. Give me just a minute. I'll be right back. Hold that thought. Sorry, I was just ready to stand up for a second. I'll be right back, but hold on.
Keep the funk in their music. Keep the funk in their music.
Okay, I'm back. Alright, Lindy, thank you again for the follow. I appreciate it. How's it going? Sorry about that. Just as you follow, you're like, well, you know, I gotta go. 2:30 a.m. I haven't gone to bed yet. I went to bed at 10 or something like that, and then I ended up getting up about 45 minutes ago, and I was trying to go back to bed, and I was like, well, I can't sleep, so I was like, you know, I'm just gonna stream for a little bit. I gotta teach a boxing class at 5:30 this morning, so I'll probably end up maybe taking a little power nap before then, and then, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But, yeah, I couldn't sleep either. Well, I mean, I did sleep, but then I woke back up, so, you know. You know how it is. Fun times. Okay, give me just a second. What am I doing? Sorry, I'm just trying to bring up the screen. Okay, there we go. Perfect. I gotta like go. I have like 2 computers running here to make this stream happen, so I'm just trying to figure out which is what. Okay, that's that. Where is the... Nope, that's the YouTube studio. Aha, here we go. Found it. I actually was thinking of teaching myself programming, coding for fun. Yeah, you should. It's really fun. I don't work in the industry or anything like that. I just code on streaming. That's the only time I code is when I'm streaming. I mean, maybe I'll do something offline, like a little thing here or there, but mostly just online coding or streaming coding, live coding. There we go. I find it really fun. I don't know if I could actually work as a coder or a programmer. I don't know. Maybe, but I kind of find it fun interacting with people while I'm learning or coding. That's when I enjoy it the most. I don't know if I would enjoy it as a profession. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, if you want to learn it, definitely. Do you know like HTML, CSS, JavaScript yet, or are you like freshly new to coding?
Just a typical Bootstrap nav bar. If we go and look in the browser, there we go. We have the navbar brand, which is just my view, and then we have a single link of home. If you're not familiar with Bootstrap, if you wanted to add more links to a navbar, there is this unordered list, and each list item is going to be an item in that navbar. So here you can see that that is the home link. And if we wanted to add links for, let's say, about and contact, we would need to replicate that same markup, change the text, and of course, we would also want to point to a different href. We'll get to the href later on. For now, I'm more concerned about generating the content of home, about, and contact. So
Cool.
we've done that with some hard-coded HTML. Let's use Vue to do that. So let's start by creating a new application. We're going to go ahead and pass in our options object where we are going to define our data, because our data is going to define.
I've never seen this part before. Interesting. All right. He's doing it very interesting. I'll read that in just a second. View.create app. He's not mounting it though. Where is he? No, he's not. Interesting. Okay. Oh, whoops. Turn save. Alright. Yeah, why is he not mounting?
Find the links that this particular Vue application is going to generate. So let's have a property called links, which is going to be an array. And for right now, we're just going to work with simple strings so that we will have home, about, and contact. Of course, we need more information if these were going to be actual links, which we will get to that at a later time. For right now, though, this is going to be fine. And we want to mount this application to our nav. Now, for right now, this is okay because I don't intend to have any other nav elements inside of the page. However, if it does turn out that we have multiple nav elements,
the way he's doing this seems a little weird, but
use something a bit more unique.
Keep following
this is going to be fine. And so now that we
okay, give me a second. Fresh and new to coding, sorta. I haven't. Hey, thank you for the follow, Goose of War. Appreciate it. That's a cool name. Fresh and new to coding, sorta. I've tried teaching myself before, but didn't get very far. Okay. All right. Yeah, I would definitely say start with HTML, you know, and then work on CSS, and then bring them together. Well, I mean, you will when you learn it. And then definitely learn vanilla JavaScript. I cannot stress that one part. Actually, that's probably the most important part of the 3 is the vanilla JavaScript. HTML, CSS, you'll get that down. Trust me. The more you code, the more you do, you'll just learn naturally the more you do it. But the one thing you should really focus your energy on is really understanding vanilla JavaScript. I do not know vanilla JavaScript that well, and because of that, I suffer a lot when I get to frameworks like Vue, React, etc. because I don't understand JavaScript that well. It's something that so when I first started learning how to code, I kind of feared JavaScript. You know what I mean? I don't know why. It was just like I avoided it at all costs, and I'm paying for that now. I should have went at it when it was a little overwhelming. You know what I mean? I should have been like, okay, it's a challenge. I got to learn it though. But unfortunately, I avoided it, and now I'm paying for that. So I hear the hardest one C++. I don't think it's the hardest. I would probably Objective C would probably because I don't know much about the two or the three because there's C, Objective C, C++, and then there's also C Sharp, which C Sharp's really good. Um, that's a good one to learn too if you want to get into like programming. Python's a good one to start off with, actually. Yeah, maybe that's a good one to start off with. Unless you want to do C language. I mean, honestly, I'll be very honest. Once you learn one of them, the only thing that's really going to change is the syntax, but the concepts of like loops, if statements, a little bit of that will change, but the concept of it will be the same, or the logic. You know what I mean? Loops, stuff like that, arrays. You know what I mean? I was thinking JavaScript and Python mostly. Yeah, those would be two good things to start off with. If you want to get in like the web side of coding, I would go with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to get started. If you want to get in the more programming side of things, then go Python. But you can do all of it. You know what I mean? It's not going to hurt to learn JavaScript, Python. You know what I mean? But I would definitely choose like what path you kind of want to go first, and then say, okay, I want to do more of the web side of things, then go HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then, once you get that kind of down, you can go, okay, now I kind of want to get into programming, and then go Python. When you learn JavaScript, a lot of the stuff you learn in Python will come easy to you because you'll pretty much get a basic of, arrays, objects, stuff like that. So then when you get into Python, you're learning it. You're like, oh, okay, cool. I already know what most of this is. I just need to learn the syntax of Python. But if you go the route of Python, and then when you go over to the JavaScript side, same concept. That's the cool thing about programming is a lot of the stuff kind of bounces between languages. It's just the way the syntax is written. Yeah, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but that's pretty cool. Just kind of figure out what path you want to go down, I guess, and then go from there. But Python's a really cool coding language to learn. You could do so much with Python. You could do web, you can do programming. Console apps are like probably the first thing you'll learn, or terminal apps. They're really fun. You can build some pretty cool stuff, fun games and stuff like that with Python. Then they have like libraries, or I think they're called libraries, like Django, I think is what it's called. I think. Yeah, it's like so you can use Python to build web applications. It's pretty cool. I haven't experimented with it myself, so I don't know much about it. But yeah, if you just want to go purely web dev for right now to get started, just load up a folder, put an index file, CSS file in there, and a JS script. You know what I mean? And boom, you're ready to go out the door. So that's really easy to get started. Python, I don't know if you're on PC or Mac, but you might have to install some stuff to get started. But honestly, it's really easy to get started. So, but yeah, that's pretty exciting. It's going to be quite the adventure. So enjoy every bit of it and soak up as much as you can. Trust me, because it's really cool once you learn this stuff.
We have mounted this application to our nav element. That means that inside of the nav element, we have our template, and we can define where we want to essentially display the text for our links, which are, of course, home, about, and contact. So one of the ways that we can do that is, well,
V4?
like this. We can use the links array and then specify the index of the value that we want to display. So home is index 0, about is index 1, contact is index 2. And of course, if we view this in the browser, we aren't going to notice any differences in the nav bar. But that is a horrible way of going about this because our links are in an array. And anytime that we work with an array, we typically want to use a loop. Now, if this were just normal JavaScript, we could do this in a couple of different ways. One of them would be to use a for in loop so that we could say for link in links. And then inside of that for loop, we would use the link in order to reference the value of home, about, or contact. Well, we can essentially do the same thing with Vue, except that we don't do it inside of our JavaScript. Instead, we do it inside of our template. We use what's called a Vue directive. A Vue directive starts with V dash, and then there are many different directives. In our case, we want to use a loop. More specifically, we want to use a for loop, and it's going to look a lot like a for in loop, so that we can say for link in links, do this code. And really, it's more do this code. So I want to be very clear here in that we are using the...
Wait, when we want to... What's he doing? Why are we doing that? Why is he putting... Okay, so in the video, he's putting the V4 on the LI. Wouldn't... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, because what I'm doing right now is going to loop the ULs. Never mind. Ignore what I just said. I had the right idea, but I was just a little confused. Never mind. We're good.
V4 direct. This is a for loop, but we are using it on the LI element. So we want to use this on whatever element that we want to repeatedly generate. If we used V4 on the UL element, then that would generate multiple unordered lists. And we don't want that.
It did.
We want multiple LI elements. So for each link in links, we want to work with the individual link. So when it comes to outputting the value, we just use link, which is defined inside of our for loop. Whenever we go back to the browser and refresh, we see the same result. Now, to prove that this is indeed generating the links from our links data, let's change the text here so that we have home 1, about 2, and contact 3. If we go back to the browser and refresh, home 1,
yeah, it
2,
worked,
and contact 3. Now, this is very, very different from something like React, where you would generate your elements with JavaScript and then output the result in the template. Vue uses a very declarative syntax so that the goal is that you can read your template and understand exactly what is being output. Now, in the next lesson, we are going to take this a step further and generate some actual links so that we can navigate to different pages within our website.
That's right.
Business owners are solving lead generation
Ad.
problems with this AI.
There we go. Give me a second. And we skip the ad.
Going to build upon the...
I also want to do, have Android devices. Android, okay. Come to think of it, I don't know. What is Android built with? Is it C? I think? Or... I don't know. I've never looked into Android. That's a good question. What programming language should I learn for Android apps? Let's see. Oh, Kotlin. Kotlin is one of the programming language used by top companies for Android application development. Kotlin. It's a strictly typed programming language that was created by JetBrains. Right. But it looks like with Android, you can pretty much code with Java, C++, C#, and then something called Dart. It's the newest Android app development language. Really? I wonder what that is. Dart programming language. Interesting. Check this out. Deploy cloud-based backend. Darklang AI. What is this? Templates, projects. Darklang is a platforming language to easily develop backend cloud applications. You can build tiny applications to connect to services or large-scale applications. Huh. Code is written using AI. Really? Huh. That's interesting. I've never heard of this before. Ooh, they have a demo video.
Hey, I'm Ellen, co-founder of Dark, and I'm excited to show you the holistic programming language, editor, and infrastructure we've been working on for the last 2 years.
Okay.
Today, I'm going to show you how to build a fully functional backend for an Office sign-in application. But first, I wanted to do the first thing I would do in any new language, which is set up a hello world. In Dark, you don't have to install a bunch of stuff or get going with infrastructure before you can have a working API. In fact, all I need to do is specify my route, the method, and my response. I now have this as a JSON API that's on the internet and available. I can say add a URL parameter to it. So I have hello name, so I can greet my guests by name. And if I were to do this, I could say hello to myself, say hello to my co-founder Paul, I could say hello to everyone else who works here, I could say hello to you, a developer who's watching this video. In Dark, I now can see all of these full requests, and I can see what the expression evaluates to. If I chose to change a piece of it, I could see what that trace would now evaluate to.
Monday.com is the ideal platform for any organization that is looking.
Oh, why do
How you
people
get
put
started
ads
with
in a
Dark.
video like
But
this?
let's get into building a
Oh,
full
man.
backend with, say,
Well, maybe
workers and
YouTube
API
did.
integrations and all your usual backend
Actually,
things.
YouTube probably did. Let's be
Ahead of
honest.
time, we built this React application. It's the front end for our Office sign-in application. The only thing that's special about it is that it's pointed at Dark's API for the backend. Otherwise, Dark is completely front-end agnostic. You can use React, Vue, Svelte, any tool of your choice. I previously built this application in my terminal, npm run build, probably looks pretty familiar. And now I'm going to use Dark's command line application to upload my build file into our CDN. So now that those assets are available for me, what I can do is I can just serve them at whatever route I want, in this case, just the base one. And I need the index.html. So there we go,
Wow.
React application. Right now we're getting a 404 because we haven't built out our API yet, so let's do that. Traditionally, I would use my browser tools to inspect, check my console. In Dark, I don't need to do that. I can actually get in real time what request is failing and create that endpoint. I can throw some data in there quickly, and there we go. Alan and Paula are hosts.
Wow.
But that's not what you want for a real app. So let's create a new data store. I'm going to make one named hosts, and we're going to give our hosts names, obviously, and then let's give them phone numbers
This
so
is
we can text them,
interesting.
and Slack IDs so we can send DMs.
So,
We're going to want to test this out, so I'm going to quickly add myself into the data store. I'm going to use a REPL because I don't have a front end built for this in advance, but I'm going to leave myself a note that if I wanted to in the future, I can
I wonder what...
change to HTTP. We do name our REPLs after a combination of an adjective and an animal, or you can choose to rename them. So I feel like it's nicer to have that one named add host. Yeah, and that's not a very clear comment. Change to HTTP later. Great. Okay, so now let's just add me. Into our
Okay,
data
well,
store.
this is definitely
You already know
interesting.
that my name is Ellen. I
So-
put my phone number.
Okay. It looks like it's an application that you code via their website, and then you're able to connect your front ends to their API. And from what I'm looking at, it uses more prompting to build this out, and then AI is generating your prompts. I think, based on what I'm seeing. That's pretty interesting, though. Huh. It's pretty cool. I like that. That'd be something to look into as well. But, yeah, it looks like with Android, you can pretty much use anything you want. But that's pretty interesting. Huh. Never seen anything like that. It's pretty cool. Hey, Bless, how's it going, man? Hope I'm having a good stream. I am. We're just, doing some coding. Well, sort of. I'm watching videos more than coding, but yeah. How's your night going? I was thinking of teaching myself programming for fun. Oh, whoops, sorry. You already. Okay. Give me a sec. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Give me a second. God, it's dusty. How's your streams been going, Bless? Hopefully good. God, these are probably dirty. Actually, they're not. I can't believe how old these are. These are super old, but I bought a case when I bought these, so they've lasted. They've been good. Shanks, how's it going? Thank you for the follow. How you doing? I gotta wear these. I hope this helps. My eyes are drying out. I like it how I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm not tired, so I'm gonna stream. And now I'm staring at the screen and my eyes are like drying out. And they're like, you're tired now. I'm great. What about you? I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Hopefully, same for you. Alright. Let me pause this music. Just learning some Vue. Or trying. Where is the tutorial? Ah, here we go.
Links that we created in the previous lesson. Because as it is right now, well, they're just basically text. Of course, they are actual links because they have href
Yeah, it turns into an object.
but it's set to a £sign or a hash. So we don't really go anywhere whenever we click on these links. We want the user to be able to go to the home, about, or contact pages. Now,
That's
remember that our nav bar is controlled by a Vue application, and the links are generated based upon that application's data. The data is an array called links, which has just simple string values. So if we want to generate actual links that go to an actual page, we need something more than just strings.
I agree.
We need really an object, because an object can aptly describe a link. It can give us the text as well as the URL that we want to navigate to. So I'm going to change the links array so that it is an array of objects. Each object has a text property and it has a URL property. Now, because I've changed this array, we need to address our template because we were outputting just a simple string value.
Oops, give me a second. It's been a while since I've actually done one of these, so bear with me. Name. Well, isn't that very nice of AI to kick in and do that for me? Thank you. See? Done. That is AI for you folks right there. If you're kind of curious of what I'm using a AI called Codium. It is a extension that you can install in VS Code, and basically it's kind of like GitHub or GitHub Copilot, but for free. And basically it is kind of helping me code. So it is kind of cool. Sometimes it does a little too much, but for the most part, it's really neat because it knows what I'm trying to do and it learns from my coding. I'll definitely check it out. It's really cool.
Value with this link variable, but now this is an object. So we want to say link.text because inside of the double curly braces, we can use any JavaScript expression that we want. If for whatever reason, we wanted to output 1 plus 1. We can do that because that is a valid JavaScript expression. Of course, in the browser, we're going to see 222, that's not very useful. So let's change that back to link.text. And if we take a look at this in the browser, we are going to see the results that we had before: home, about, and contact. Now, Vue is a framework for building user interfaces. And as a web page, our interface is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And when it comes to outputting HTML, yes, we can output text, but there's more to it than just text. We also need to be able to set the values of HTML attributes. So because we used the double curly braces to output text, you might think that we would need to use that to do the same thing for the URL. So let's give that a try. Let's make...
Hold on. Why is that doing that? Link text.
that change. Let's go to the browser. Let's refresh, and let's pull up the HTML inspector so that we can see exactly what is being loaded in the browser. And we can see, well, link URL inside of a pair of curly braces. We see the exact string that we set for that attribute, which makes perfect sense because this is an href attribute. We need to tell our Vue application that we need to handle this a little bit differently. This needs to be special. So what we want to do is use a directive called vbind. Then we follow that up with a colon, followed by the HTML attribute that we want to bind a value to. In this case, it's going to be href. And then the value that we assign to this attribute is a JavaScript expression. So we don't need the double curly braces. Instead, we just need link URL so that whenever we go back to the browser.
Okay, so that's going to be a problem because now this is going to try to add in, whatchamacallit, it's going to try to add in that for me. See what I mean? What is doing that? Is it prettier? Yeah, I think prettier is trying to do that for me.
Damn it. We are going to see the results that we would expect, to where the href is set to the URL property on our link object. Now,
what is it? You'll need to add some white space between. Where is it? You'll need to add some light space between for prettier. Oh, you mean here? Like that? Why is that? Or what do you mean? I'm sorry. I don't get what you mean. After the like that? No, it's still adding it in there. Why is that doing that? Hold on, give me a minute. Let's see. No one answer. Yeah, or unless I did my vbind wrong, maybe that's why. It is adding the line breaks, but keeps the separated. Pretty or something does crazy things with Vue code. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to see if I can figure that out. Let's see. Figures. Hold on. Oh, here we go. So I've got a table I want to render, yada, yada, yada. You should write JS code inside of your vbind expression. Vbind. Oh, let me... Okay, hold on. This might work. What? That might have done it. No, it didn't do it. I'm gonna try that. Okay, that might have worked. See? I think that does it right there. Because it's prettier. Let's see. If you bind buyer email. How to create. Let's see. But I don't know. That just feels kind of weird, right? Should be able to just do it the way he's doing it. Link.text. href, link URL.
Binding data to an attribute is very, very common. So one thing that you're going to find in the majority of projects that you look at is something like this, simply a colon. Because we bind a lot of data, it makes sense to have a shorthand syntax.
Let me try it without the, without that, see if it does it. Link.url, save. Oh, it's so weird. Prettier extension is adding this to my code. It seems that there is an issue with the formatting of your code. Prettier is a code format that helps with your code. Can you provide more information, such as what type of file? I'm working on a .vue file. Alright, here we go. Thanks for the additional information. It's possible that the issue is related to the Vue file format. Prettier should work with Vue files out of the box. To troubleshoot, I recommend checking the Prettier configuration file for Vue projects. Configuration file could be called or Prettier.json. You could check your Prettier settings. Workspace by if you're still experiencing issue. Okay. Let's see. Settings. .json. Let's see. Python, JavaScript. Editor format type is true. Let's see. We don't want that. Where is the file? Or, oh, I got a better idea. Let's go settings. There we go. Text editor, extensions. Prettier. Alright, here we go. Prettier, same line break. Puts the after a multi-line HTML view out right here, right? I think. Is this what I would want? Bracket, same line? I think. Document selectors. Controls whether pretty is enabled or not. Enable debug logs. Prettier ignore file. Prettier. Let's see. Prettier can insert a special format marker on the top of files. JSX single quote. Use single quote instead of double. Preserve. Quote. Change when properties and objects are quoted. Valid options as needed. Only add quotes around object properties where required. Consistent. If at least one property objects can respect the input use of quotes. Preserve. Required. Config. Require configuration. Require. Resolve global modules. Single attribute per line. Enforce single attribute. Enforces single attribute per line. I don't know what that is. Single quote. Let's try that one for a second. That didn't do it. That's TypeScript. Let's see. Reference. TypeScript. Whether to indent. Oh, view indent script and stuff. Whether or not to indent the code inside of. Yeah, definitely want that. This extension will process files and node modules. Let's see. We could try. Where was that other one that I saw? Let's see. Stop going to PHP land. Thank you. Alright. Let's try that one. Nope, still doing it. Well, here, tell you what. Let me try both of these. Where's the other setting? Okay. Oh, did that work? No, I don't think it did. Hold on. Let me... Alright. Let me do... Oh, it's so weird that that's not working. You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah, it's just... Why is it adding these? I don't get it. Why? Yeah, I don't know. Bracket, same line. Doesn't make sense. That's weird. That is really weird. I don't know why it's doing that. I wonder if that needs to be saved. Single attribute per line. Why is it even adding that? That's really weird. Alright, wait a minute. What if I do... Copy. Save, right? And then, what if I put that there, and then remove... Will that work, or will that break it? No, see, that's gonna break it. That's the weirdest thing, you know what I mean? But it's auto gonna add these in there. I don't know. It's so weird. And I Googled it, but apparently no one has issues with this. Apparently it's fine and dandy for everybody. It's so weird. Prettier is adding double quotes to view. Oh, to view bind. Let's try that. Let's see. VS Code not changing double quotes, single quotes. I don't... Okay, see, that doesn't help me any bit. Prettier is converting HTML attributes, single quotes. That doesn't really help me. Shouldn't it be hlink, link URL? If it is, this guy's not teaching the... Is it? Wait a minute. Maybe you're right. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm the one doing it wrong. Hold on. Maybe you're right. But... Oh, maybe you're... Yeah, maybe it is me. Hold on. Oh, you know what? You're right. Never mind. No, never mind. Prettier's fine. It's not prettier. It's me. Oh my goodness. I'm sitting here like, why won't this work? And apparently no one's having an issue with it. I don't get it. Oh my goodness. Thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate it. Even in the video, I thought he just didn't get to that part yet. Oh my goodness. I need to fire up one of my projects. Not sure right now. Yeah, what are you working on? I'm still wondering why you're using the options API, a little bit outdated. I'm not choosing that. I'm following a tutorial, but it is later on down the list of things. See, it is right about somewhere here. Somewhere here. I promise it's here. Oh, there it is. There, it's right at 3 hours and 31 minutes. So you learn everything, and then you learn about the composition API. And this is not the only. Almost every tutorial I watch, you start off like this, and then you go into composition near the end, which is interesting because I guess they want you to learn. You know what I mean? The basics of Vue before you go into that. I assume. I think. Should I turn these off now? Single attributions per line. I probably don't need these. I don't really know what they do. I'm just going to turn those off. I probably don't need them. There we go. Alright, cool. But, what, do you work with Vue right now, or what's your current, choice of programming language? Let's see. Vue and Node as backend, currently developing small apps for my company. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, for in-company use. Okay, that's pretty cool right there. See, I think that's pretty awesome that you have a position like that. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. It's pretty neat. Give me a second. Sorry. Reminder. Sorry, I was just looking up something. That's pretty cool, though. Alright. Sorry about that. Give me just a second. Okay, I'll be right back. Give me a minute. Okay, I'm back. So, what made you choose Vue over, like, React? Did you just find it a bit better for yourself, or easier to learn, or did you not like React, or just out of curiosity?
To bind that data to an attribute. So instead of actually typing out vbind colon, we can just say colon followed by the attribute, and we will get the same result. And we can do this for any HTML attribute. Like, for example, this is a link. And links should more often than not have a title attribute, something that gives a description for the link, so that we can have a description of this link goes to, and then we can have like the home page or the about page. But of course, we need this to be dynamic because this is being generated dynamically. Well, we can simply use vbind on the title attribute. But remember that the value of this attribute is now a JavaScript expression. So having just normal text is not something that we want, because that's going to result in an error. It's a syntax error because it's not a valid JavaScript expression. Instead, what we want is to output a string, a dynamic string based upon the text of the link. So I'm going to do this so that we will use JavaScript's string interpolation feature to output a string that says this link goes to the, and then we can use the text property on our link object. And whenever we view this in the browser, not only are we going to see the href attributes properly set, but we will see the same thing for title. This link goes to the home page. And if we take a look at the about and contact links, we will see something similar.
I missed what you wrote.
Href is set to the appropriate value, as well as the title attribute for each one of those links. And so now whenever we click on these links, if we had an about.html page, we would navigate to that page. The same is true for contact as well as home. Although I guess home should probably be index. So let's make that change. Home.
Let's see. He's wrapping that. Oh, I forgot the $sign, that's why. Okay. There we go. Dude, why does nothing work? Oh my goodness. Oh, because I'm double wrapping it. What is the rules when it comes to... okay. I'll figure this out. Nice. Okay, cool. I just gotta learn syntax. We're good. Okay, and then home should be... save.
Home will be index.html.
Oh, okay. Oh, did he put the index.html? Whoops. About HTML. And thank you, AI. Appreciate it. I can't always listen. I'm at work and using Twitch's background noise. Oh, no worries.
So let's refresh.
I apologize. You have to use my voice as your background noise. I've listened to my voice and I'm like, ugh. What was it? I was teaching boxing one day and I turned up the microphone a little too loud and my voice came ringing in my ears and I was like, because, you know, it's so weird when you hear your own voice because it doesn't sound like how it sounds, if that makes sense. Like, to me, my voice sounds different from how you hear it. So when I listen to it back, I'm like, who is that? It's not me. But, yes, sounds totally different. It does, yeah. I remember the first, I don't know about you, but my first time hearing my my own voice was from an answering machine. We got our first answering machine. And I remember recording something on it, and then I played it back, and I'm like, why does it sound so weird? I go, does the answering machine do that? And it was really odd because you never hear yourself. And then all of a sudden you hear yourself and you're like, what? That's not me. That's what voice is that? Why is the answering machine like altering my voice? And then you play it back to someone and they're like, yeah, that's how you sound. And I'm like, ew, I don't want to sound like that. It sounds nasally.
Page, home goes to index. About goes to, well, what would be the about page. Contact goes to the contact page.
Cool.
Now, there's one other thing, and it's not that important right now because the data that we are providing our nav bar is static. We're not changing that data. However, when we do change that data, Vue is going to automatically change what is seen inside of the browser. We don't have to do anything. Vue does it for us.
That's cool.
But we do need to help Vue.
Can you
so
hear
that
this
it
audio
can
coming from him,
identify
by the way?
which object that it needs to update. So we need
I
to
can hear it, but I just want to
provide
make sure
a
you guys
key
can. Okay,
or
cool.
A unique
Because
identity
sometimes I don't
for
know if
each
I'm the only one that can
one
hear it, and
of
then
the
you're just sitting here
LI
listening to me nod my
elements
head
that we are
in
generating
silence.
here with the v4 directive. So we do that by v-binding a key. And this has to be a unique value for each individual LI element that is generated. Or a better way of thinking about it is a unique identifier for each item in the links array. And one thing that is unique is the index of the elements in the array, because the index of 0 is for home, the index of 1 is for about, the index of 2 is for contact. So we could use the index as the key, and we can do that very easily by modifying our for loop, so that not only are we going to be working with the link object, but we also get the index of that element in the array.
Hold on, what? Link. Okay, so we're changing, instead of links and links, we're doing link. For, okay. Index. Seems a little
so
weird.
that we can bind that to the key. And from a user's perspective, they aren't going to notice anything different.
Hold on,
Only
hold
are
on,
we
hold on.
going to
This is weird looking. LI, V4, link. That looks a little weird. Yeah, that's not working. Is he doing this right?
to be working with the link object, but we also get...
Oh, okay, I see where I screwed up. Never mind, we're good. That's a user, a developer issue. Okay. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, where... literally, it's in front of me. I had the video up over here on the screen. It's right in front of me. But for some reason, I'm not focused on the actual rest of the code. I'm focused on that text. It's the way his editor, he's using a different theme for me. So this lights up completely different from his. So his looks like text on screen, whereas mine is different from the green. His kind of like almost looks like they're meshed in, sort of. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I'm making excuses at this point.
the index of that element in the array so that we can bind that to the key. And from a user's perspective, they aren't going to notice anything different. This is strictly for helping Vue do its thing behind the scenes. Now, in the next lesson, we are going to transition this page into what's called a single page application. Basically,
wait, let me look at that one more.
We also get...
All right, so the key is going to be
of that a user's perspective.
Okay, so I had that right. Good.
Anything different? This is strictly for helping Vue do its thing behind the scenes. Now, in the next lesson, we are going to transition this page into what's called a single page application.
Ooh.
Basically, it's a single page loaded in the browser, and the content changes based upon the user's interaction. So, for example, clicking on one of the links is going to change the content that is displayed in the browser. In this lesson,
let's see here. I'll switch to my main streamer on here who develops Vue apps. Would recommend to have a look at his stream. But we're a German-speaking community there. Oh, okay, cool, awesome. And thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So there's someone on Twitch that that's pretty cool. Nice. Yeah, definitely take it easy. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
So we are going to turn our web page into a single page application.
Okay,
we can
gotcha.
accomplish this in a variety of
check
different
them out.
ways
Thank
using Vue. However, with everything that we have talked about thus far, probably the most simple thing to do is to just combine our two Vue instances into one, so that we have just one data object that we are going to work with, which makes everything so much easier to do. So this transition is going to be relatively simple. All we need to do is take the data from one instance and put it inside of another. So let's take the links from our nav instance. Let's paste that inside of the data for our content. Let's delete the nav instance. And then we just need to change the CSS selector that we pass to the mount method. We can just pass in body so that we essentially mount our Vue instance in the body of this application. So this would cover both the nav and our content. And so then the question becomes, how do we need to structure our data? Because we need more than just a set of links and a single page title and content. We need the link, the page title, and the content for each individual page that we want to display. And we have 3 pages: home, about, and contact. So I think what makes the most sense is to essentially change our data into an array of pages. And each one of these pages is going to be an object that has a link, that has the text and the URL. They have a page title and the content for that page. Now,
Okay, interesting. All right, let's see. So he did. Okay. So he did return links page. Okay, so he did what? Wait, what? Okay. And then he came over here. He made an array, and then he did this. And then he did link. And then he did text. His home, comma URL. About.html. Let's see. Then went page title equals home page. Okay, that's good. And then he went content. This is home content. Save. Is that all he did? Mm-hmm. I'm confused. Why isn't this working? Am I doing something wrong? Return. Right. Then we have the... Page title. This is the home content. That's weird. Why is this not working? Text, home, comma, URL, about, or in this case, index. Why am I getting this error? Why are you erroring out on me? What's wrong? That's right. That's correct. Is it not a comma? What's going on? Hold on, let me remove this. Oh, I'm getting the error right there. Wow. Oh, because I haven't put... Right. There we go. You need the key for that, right? Yeah. Yeah. I just, there we go. I was missing that one thing. Alright, cool. Okay, and then we're doing about. Okay, and then we gotta do contact. Save. All right, perfect. So if we're going to alter this, that means we're going to do link. That's probably going to be a little bit different because of the way we're doing it.
Because we're making this change, we do need to address our template, especially when it comes to generating the links in our nav bar. So we are no longer working with links. Instead, we are working with an individual page inside of pages. We can leave the index alone because we need to bind that to the key for our list of li elements. But everywhere else we used that link. All we need to do is prepend that with page dot, and everything should work.
All right, cool. So I want to do. It's not gonna work. All right. Let's see. Link. So we'll do page.link. Right. I think. Yeah. Let's see here. Then we're gonna do it here. Page.link. And then page.link save. I think that's all the places, right? And then we'll probably need to do, there's title. Let's see. Well, let me just make sure that works. Yep, that looks good. And then down here, it'll be page title. Yeah, and then page content. Nope. Okay, that's not it. Really? Why? Shouldn't that have worked? Page.content.
The same, at least as far as the
Oh no,
nav is
pages.
concerned. So let's do a sanity check. Let's go to the browser, let's refresh, and yes, we have our links. So now we just need to change the content that is going to be displayed whenever we click on these links. So this means that we need to set up a click event for these links. And this is very easy to do inside of Vue. It might look a little wrong because it is somewhat reminiscent to DOM level 0 events. Now, if you're not familiar with that terminology, before there was any DOM specification, the way that we set up event handlers was through HTML. Every HTML element had attributes like on click or on mouse over or things like that that would let us set up an event on that element. So for a click event, we would have on click, and then the value of this attribute would be some JavaScript expression that would execute whenever the user clicked on that element. With Vue, we use a Vue directive called v_on. We follow that with a colon, and then we have the name of the event that we want to handle. In this case, it's going to be click. If it was some other event like mouse over or mouse out or mouse enter, anything like that, we would use just the name of that event, but we would prepend it with the v_on directive. Now, there is a shorthand syntax. Instead of saying v_on colon, we can just use an @ sign before the event name. So @click is setting up the click event handler for this element. I like to think of it as action and then click. And then we just need to specify the code that it's going to execute whenever we click on this link. Whenever we click on a link, we need to be able to track the link of the page that we clicked on. So we need some other data property that we can use to track the active page. And let's just call this property active page. And it makes sense to initialize this as our home page. So let's say that we're going to track this based upon the index. So our home page is at an index of 0 as far as the pages array is concerned. So about will be index 1, and then contact will be index 2. So that whenever we click on these links, we want to change active page to the index for the given.
Okay, this is a weird way of doing it, but all right. All right, where are we at? Active page save equals index
page. And so when it comes to displaying our content, we'll use pages. We'll use the index syntax so that we can use active page, and then that will give us.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So pages, our page title. So it's going to be pages, active page, dot, right? Content, paste. Yep, there it is right there. It can do that? Huh. Guess that makes sense. Oh, yeah, because we're just storing a, okay, never mind.
Access to that page's title as well as the content. So, another sanity check. Let's go to the browser. Let's give this a shot. So, let's refresh the page.
There it
Since
is.
home page is our default page, we
Hey,
can see
thank
that
you for
that
the follow,
content is
ZCB.
automatically displayed.
QG.
So let's click on the
How you doing?
About link. Well, we could see very briefly that the content changed, but notice that we navigated to about.html. That is the URL that was specified for that link. And we don't want that because all of our content is now being loaded through JavaScript. So we want to prevent the web browser from navigating to whatever URL is specified in the href. And if this was just a normal DOM event listener, we could do that using the event objects prevent default method. But since this is Vue, we have a more declarative way of doing that. Whenever we specify the @click directive, we can follow that up with a dot, and then we can use this prevent modifier. This essentially says that we want to prevent the browser from navigating to the href whenever the user clicks on this link. So with that in place, we can go back to the browser. Let's refresh the page. Now, whenever we click on About, we can see that the browser did not navigate to about.html, but it did load the content that we specified. And then whenever we click on Contact, well, we see the same thing. Let's click on Home, Homepage, Contact, About, and we can keep doing this, and it's going to work just like we would expect it to. And this is one of the great things about Vue. And really, it's not just Vue, but any UI framework like React, Angular, Svelte, Alpine. I mean, there's quite a few these days. But we no longer have to write the code that actually changes the content. Instead, all we have to do is change data. And then our application will react to that change in data. Like, for example, the only piece of data that we changed was the value of active page. Whenever we clicked on the link, we changed that value. And because of that very simple change, Vue automatically updated the content that was loaded in the DOM because our code said to load the page title of the active page and to load the content of the active page. And so this is where the power and the popularity of these frameworks come from, because we are no longer concerned with actually updating the DOM. The framework does that automatically for us. All we have to do is set up the UI to display the content that we want, and then simply change the data or change the state of the application, and Vue will automatically update the DOM for us.
Let me help you.
All right, cool.
I'm good, man.
Not bad.
Are you sure?
I hate ads. Ugh. All right, guys. I have got to get ready to go to a class. I shall be back, though. Let's see. Yeah, I just gotta go teach it, and then as soon as I'm done, I'll be back. But, yeah. I like it. We're on a good journey here. I should be back a little later this morning, but, it's a good start. It's definitely a lot different from the, stuff that I've seen before with tutorials for Vue, but I like it. It's not bad. So yeah, when I get back, we'll definitely jump on this again. So, alright, I'm gonna head out, guys, but I shall be back later, and yeah, I'd say a few hours, but thank you all so much for the follows. I appreciate it. And like I said, I will definitely be back around in a few hours, alright? Alright, guys, I'll catch you in a little bit, and then we'll jump back into learning more Vue. So, I got all day. I'm not working, so yeah, we should have a good day of coding. I'm looking forward to it. Alright, guys, I'll see you in a little bit. Bye.